Hey guys, Steven here. So, just got back from my honeymoon with my wife. It was a wonderful ceremony, and we had a great time on the honeymoon. We got a cabin in North Carolina, and that was where we stayed most of the week. Afterwards, we went to Dollywood, where she spent a lot of time growing up uh, with her family and just enjoying and watching the park start to grow. And I thoroughly loved it. By the way, Dolly, if you ever see this, do me a favor, kick Disney in the pants for me. Thank you. So I just kind of wanted to stop by, give you all a little bit of an update, and to share a thought that I had. Uh, for those of you who don't know us, my wife and I, we have a dog now. This was her dog before I came along, and he's such a good boy. Oh, he's a greyhound. He's so cute. Uh, so what we do for him is when we're away or we're like in another room doing something, we leave the office playing for him, just for him to have some sound and some lights moving, something to kind of help him feel at home and comfortable. And probably, I would say, my favorite episode, I think, uh, came on just a minute ago while I was drinking coffee. Scott's Tots. If you don't know what Scott's Tots is, holy crap, I love this episode. So, basically, the manager, played by Steve Carell, promises a bunch of third graders that he's going to pay for their college tuition if they graduate high school. And 10 years later, it's a time for him to come forward and make good on his promise. And he has to inform all of them that he can't. And it's a very cringy episode because it takes so long to get to the point where he informs them about it, and they're giving speeches, they're telling him how much they appreciate him and how he's actually following through on a promise, unlike politicians and whatnot, so on and so forth. Very cringy, very but then at the end of the episode, and this is a little bit of a spoiler thing, Michael's assistant informs him that 90% of the class is en route to graduating. 90%, significantly higher than the whole rest of the school, and actually a whole lot higher than, if I remember the rates correctly, a whole lot higher than public schools in general. He made a bad promise. He couldn't follow through with it, but it was enough for them to get to where they needed to be. Even though they were riding on a false hope, it was enough of a hope for them to stand up and to do what they needed to do to get where they wanted to go. Now, if I can phrase this in a more eloquent way, sometimes all people need is a little bit of hope. Sometimes all you need is a little bit of a hope to get you where you're going to go, to make you excited about the next step. So, for example, those of you who know me, maybe I've mentioned it before, I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan, and the main reason that I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan is because he's so good about getting people excited about doing things themselves. He's so excited about getting people to get their own lives together. I mean, he could write a check to every caller that calls in and help them financially, but what he does instead is he gives them a hope to be able to move forward themselves. He gives them enough hope to be able to change their lives themselves. Now, of course, there's a lot of talk today about systematic racism and whatnot. We can have that conversation. We can have conversations about any type of like oppressions or whatever. And even though I don't agree, I'll sit down and I'll have those conversations with someone. But it always requires action to come out on the other end. No matter what you're doing, if it's something financial, like Dave says, there are baby steps to get to financial peace. You start by getting yourselves a little bit of savings, just enough to, oh, you're so cute, enough to help give you a cushion in emergency situations. Then you get out of debt. Then you expand your emergency savings. And then after that is when you start investing. It's all little baby steps. Even the way that he has his debt snowball lined up. You start with the smallest one, then you move to the biggest one. As you start to knock out those little ones, you feel a little hope. You feel a little excitement. You start to get the feeling of, hey, I can do this. That's what this episode of The Office made me think about. It made me think that sometimes all you need is a little bit of hope. Sometimes all you need is a small victory. And so, kind of a motto that I've started to pick up, and I was going to do this motivation series. I'd like to get to doing that again. Anyways, rambling. The motto I kind of live by is never punish progress. Even if it's not as much progress as you want, never punish progress. If you punish yourself for even making a little bit of progress, you're going to discourage yourself from ever doing something. Okay, so maybe you only saved $20 this month. Well, that's $20 more saved than most other people my age. All right, so you've not been good on staying in the Word of God. Hey, you were in 5 minutes today, okay? You're not to where you need to be. You're at least somewhere. And like I've said before, God is going to grow you into the person that you're going to be. He's going to grow you into the person He wants you to be, so long as you're seeking Him. Okay, so you didn't do what you needed to today, all right? Even just recognizing that is a big step. So don't punish progress, I think, is the big thing that I'm trying to say. Maybe only make a little step today, but that's another step that you don't have to take again. I think that's about all I have for right now, because if I go much more, I'm just going to be senselessly rambling. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to start The Office back up, because I love this episode, and DePuppo is being real cute. Maybe one of these days I'll let you see him. Anyways, you guys, take care, and I'll see you all around.